Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to today's second episode of Spilling Tea. I am your host, Tiffany Daniels. And as you can see, folks, this is going to be an update on JD versus AH. It's time for more nonsensical nonsense out of the Nameless One's camp. So what is this about? Well, a certain Miss AH, well, she didn't like that her little dismissal didn't go through, in spite of what her stands were saying. Since that dismissal took place, sitting there saying, well, she actually wants it to go to court. Well, apparently, that is not the case. See, as of right now, AH has asked to appeal that decision. This is the update coming from the real Laura B. If you're not following her in regards to this case, do it. Alright, so Laura is writing this here. We're going to go over it and we're going to take a look at some of these screenshots. So, all Judge Ascarate will be deciding on, or after October 12th, is whether the Nameless One can appeal now, as opposed to requiring her to wait until the case is over to appeal. If she allows it, the appeal will go to the Supreme Court of Virginia, which would decide on the merits. Dear God. And this is what started it. This was the update. JD versus the Name One Fairfax. Judge Escarate has agreed to hear an interlocutory appeal replea in Bar UK Judgement to dismiss Virginia 9-8 motion no more than 15 pages. 929, 20 pages opposition, 10-6, 5 pages reply, 10-12 hearing. So here is the document here. Here we go. Of course, as expected, because I would object too. Here is them saying they object to this hearing. Who wouldn't? It's a waste of court time and resources. But we can't expect AH to have coherent reasoning or critical thinking skills now, can we? Just my opinion, but this is what I have observed so far from her and her camp. And this is the official documentation. And, of course, this is Eric Gardner, Mr. I'm so far up, you know who's, you know what. It's sad, and, the Nile isn't just a river in Egypt, Eric. So, quick update on this. Over Depp's objection, the judge is entertaining possibility of an interlocutory appeal. Topic would be circumstances when 4 liable rulings preclude domestic suits. Also, a green light would likely delay trial, maybe even for years. God, I hope not. So others have said that this has been a possibility for her to get in an interlocutory appeal, and that usually when a judge entertains this, it has a likeliness to go through. It's Colonel Coates' friend, Andrea Brooks, but she also said that it is very unlikely that the decision to not dismiss the case is actually going to be successfully appealed. So, AH is supposedly not stupid, and if she's not as stupid as she makes herself appear, then she would know she has minuscule chance of success in doing an appeal. So why is she doing it, folks? Well, this is the same thing we have seen from her in this case time and time again. She is dragging her feet. She is trying to drag the case out. And why is she dragging it out? For a supposed victim who is so enthusiastic to get all her facts and her truth out there. Why all the delays? It makes you wonder, when somebody's working so hard for a case not to go forward, Do they actually have the so called mountains of evidence that they say they do? Well, us critical thinking people who have logic and have very, very well versed bullshit detectors, it means she's still got a lot to hide. But what she needs to be thinking about is if it gets drug out for years, is this actually any benefit to her? Well, ladies and gentlemen, the answer is no. As we've seen since this case has been put off, more and more dirt and dirty laundry has been coming out about her ever since the UK verdict went out. And the longer this drags on, the more damning it's going to be for her and her career. So one has to wonder, what is she thinking right now? Wouldn't she rather it go forward and put all her focus in that of her team on the selection of the jury pool, as opposed to continuing to waste the judge and the court's time? Shouldn't she be trying to not further piss off the judge? Just give what has already been asked and just go ahead and get this done. Well, she's not the brightest tool in the drawer, now is she? People like this who are trying so hard to get things delayed usually are trying one of two things. They've either got more skeletons in the closet that they're trying to hide, or they're trying to wear down the other party, or in this case, I do believe it's a mixture of both. There's obviously still more skeletons in her closet that there is a large chance of getting out the longer this goes on. So she may be doing all this dragging feet, all these delays, all these appeals to try to wear the Depp camp down so that they'll finally just agree to settle in order to get this done and over with. But if they believe that, they really don't know Depp that well, and they sure as hell don't know us neurodiverse that well. We are all about truth, justice, fairness, and clearing our names when we are being falsely vilified. And we will sit there for as long as it goddamn takes. That's the sort of thing where I can see him sitting down saying, I've got all the time in the world. It's got to be frustrating on his end on one end, but on the other, he's probably just sitting there that she can drag her feet and drag her feet and drag her feet, but ultimately they are going to have their day in court. She is going to have to answer for all her inconsistencies. She is going to have to face the evidence against her. And quite frankly, she can drag and kick and scream all she wants, but eventually the day in court is going to come. Because after all of this and all she has dragged them through, and how she has used the media and the Hollywood to hammer him down, he's not about to just simply let this go and walk away. Anyways, that's my thoughts on it. And with those thoughts, I'm going to go ahead and close out. As you know, I will continue to be watching this case as it develops. Now, as always, folks, we don't get very many views on this channel. The few that we do tend to get removed from time to time. So, folks, please don't forget to hit that like button. Hit subscribe. Don't forget to hit the comments. Feed that algorithm. I do appreciate your time. And as always, we here at Spilling Tea hope you have a good one. Bye-bye.